best to send your questions in ahead? Okay. Looks like Facebook is catching up. All right. I think we got Facebook here too. Okay. Yeah, we got it. We are live on Facebook as well as Instagram. Okay, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday Town Hall Day. So we answer questions. I'm Casey D'Amato, president of Certified PA Consulting. And every Tuesday, I dedicate 30 minutes to come on and answer questions for free. So you can join the Town Hall community. You just have to join. Go to the website, certifiedpaconsulting.com. And there's a link there. You fill out a survey and you can send in your questions and we will add them to the roster and make sure that we answer them. It's 100% free. We come on every single Tuesday, 12:30 East Coast, and this stays on the Facebook page. I try to keep it saved on the Instagram. Sometimes I have technical issues, but it definitely stays on Certified PA Consulting's Facebook page. So you can always hop over there and see prior topics. We've talked about everything from why salary reports are only one tool out of many when negotiating. We've talked about how to estimate collections if you don't get collection reports, personal budgeting for PAs, navigating the world of non-competes, why some PAs can generate over $1 million in revenue and others struggle to get over like 300,000 or 400,000. We've talked about how to avoid job hopping. We've talked about tips for new grads. We've talked about when to accept an offer or compromise and when to walk away. So we've talked about so many great topics. So hop on over to either our brand new YouTube page, which I keep forgetting about. We just put that live, our YouTube channel, I should say, or Certified Physician Assistant Consulting on Facebook, because we keep all the prior town halls are there. So you can go back and catch any of the prior ones. Today, we've got two topics we're talking about. The first one is how to expand your job search. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of graduating students and there's a lot of people with career transitions right now, practices closing or facilities struggling because of what's been going on with the pandemic. So how do you expand your job search? We're talking about that. We're talking about how do you know when it's time to exit? And then we're answering some questions about our upcoming negotiation masterclass that's kicking off next week. Space is almost completely sold out. So if you're uncomfortable negotiating, make sure you go to certifiedpaconsulting.com/masterclass and grab a seat, because we're almost completely full with that class. We make sure that we keep it intimate so we can make sure we answer questions. You get a 24-page workbook. It's your tool for negotiating for the rest of your career. So we only host it live twice a year at the discounted price. So take advantage now while it's super affordable. Okay, let's dive in. For those of you who are just joining, this is Tuesday Town Hall, Certified PA Consulting. I'm Casey D'Amato. I am president of Certified PA Consulting. I am a PA. I am a business owner. I've sold companies. I've raised a lot of capital. Sometimes people ask me what my backstory is. I've been a practice administrator for a multi-million-dollar practice. So you name it, when it comes to business, I've done it. And now I have a little bit more time and I'm able to commit and help serve my fellow PA community, because I want to help other PAs feel more confident and comfortable with their negotiating skills, more comfortable and confident talking about numbers and money. It's not taboo. It's okay to talk about. And I want to help people navigate career changes and what to do when you're feeling emotionally stuck in your career. And also, of course, I want to help PA business owners. So I've been communicating a lot in the Facebook group of PA entrepreneurs, which is a great group. If anybody knows the admin, that's a fantastic group. So, and I've got some fun stuff coming next month for that group as well. We've got a whole webinar series dedicated to the business of being a PA. So that's my backstory. That's who I am. And hopefully we are providing some great value with our 8-week free webinar series. We're about halfway through. Make sure you register for tomorrow night, particularly if you're in dermatology. We have an expert panel of 6 experts talking about how they set their goals and how they align their goals with the practice. And this is a huge wide range, everything from part-time, super high generators, people who are Instagram experts, people who are sitting on boards of charities, people who are presidents of some of the SDPA, so president of SDPA, vice president of some of the state chapters. These are leaders in the industry. How are they determining what they want for their career and aligning with a practice that supports their goals? So it's going to be an amazing panel. So make sure you register for the free webinar series, which you can register certifiedpaconsulting.com/free webinars. And you can catch tomorrow night's webinar. It's going to be a great discussion. Okay. So I can see some questions if a little bit. I have 2 platforms, a little tricky. So if you have questions while we dive in, feel free. I've got a couple of my notes. I want to make sure I don't forget any points. So let's talk about expanding your job search. If you are either a new grad or somebody who is in career transition, what do you do in addition to job boards, right? The job boards are limiting, and you're kind of waiting for the universe to present that perfect job to you. So that's not always the best way to go about the job search, right? The job boards that are out there, which is on the national organizations, state organizations, specialty organizations. Those are the job boards I'm talking about, as well as sometimes like on Indeed and things like that. Those are not always the best. They're okay. They're okay to look there, but you're kind of just waiting for that magical opportunity to pop on the job board. And that doesn't always happen, or you might be waiting for a long time. So let's talk about some other ways to expand your job search beyond the job boards. Okay, LinkedIn is a valuable tool when it comes to searching for jobs. If you're not on LinkedIn and you don't have a profile because you don't feel like you need it for clinical practice, you should start a profile if you are looking for a job. And you can connect with other people, you can connect with me, and you can connect with my connections. I have few thousand connections on there. And when you start connecting with people on LinkedIn, you can send them messages and you can say, "Hey, I am an experienced ortho PA or whatever specialty you're in, and I live in the area or I'm moving to the area. Do you know of any opportunities?" And you can attach your resume and cover letter. You never know what that might lead to. A lot of physicians and hiring managers, it's not just physicians, but also hiring managers, also pharmaceutical reps or leaders in the pharmaceutical industry, especially if you're in private practice, they're going to be tapped in to the community as well. So LinkedIn is a big tool that you can leverage if you're not already doing that. There's also kind of chat rooms in LinkedIn, sort of similar to Facebook. So you can get in there and you can engage with people. So, and you can kind of show that you're smart and you're yeah, interesting person, at least online, and you can get a little attention that way. So LinkedIn. The second one is you can search for physician locator finders in some of the physician organizations. So I'll use dermatology because that's my background. So in dermatology, there is the American Academy of Dermatologists, the AAD. And on their website, there is a find a member search button. So guess what? You can put in your zip code or the zip code you're moving to, and you can find all of the dermatologists that are registered members of the AAD. Now, that's not all of them, but that's going to give you quite a few. And then you can go and find them on LinkedIn, or you can Google their office and you can go in person, cold call, we call that. So that's another one. You can go in person or send your resume over via email. It's always great to go in person. So, first one, LinkedIn. Second one, use a physician locator finder in the specialty that you're in the physician groups. And you can do a physician finder. When you find the locations that you're interested in, you can either email, go in person, or connect with those physicians on LinkedIn. So it gives you a place to go. So that led me to the next point, which was cold call or stopping in. It's kind of combined with that same last point, which is use the physician finders. The next one, which is a huge valuable tool if you are in private practice, is the pharmaceutical industry. Their sales reps and their managers and their marketing teams and KOLs who speak for those companies, that is a huge network of people that knows a huge network of people. So if you can communicate or connect with on LinkedIn or or ask your local rep for an introduction to another rep in another location where you're moving to, that can be an amazing way to find out what practices might be looking for a new PA. So the pharmaceutical industry is a huge resource for job search. So leverage that. Okay, personal introductions. That is by far the best. If you can get a personal introduction to somebody who might be hiring, that's key. So if you're using pharma, that's great, but you can also use your own personal providers. So schedule an appointment for your annual physical or your women's health visit or whatever it might be, or your dental cleaning. Get in front of other medical providers and tell them that you're looking for new opportunities and pick their brains about who they know. Then you can name drop them. So it immediately establishes familiarity and credibility for you. If you say, "Oh, my physician or my provider so and so PA or so and so physician or my dentist or whoever gave me your name to reach out. They will be more likely to take a look at your resume and your cover letter if you're coming from a personal referral source. So talk to every medical provider and ancillary medical providers, dentists, chiropractors, everybody, because those people are tapped in and they know the medical community. They can give you some names of people they know, and then you can use their name as a reference and say, oh, so and so gave me your name. And that's going to be a way to get past the gatekeepers, or get past that either the email box, if you put in the subject line that somebody recommended you, that they know, they're going to be more likely to, just think about yourself. You would be more likely to open up an email if somebody that you knew, a friend or colleague, in the subject line, it says their name, so and so referred me to reach out to you. That you're going to be likely to open that if it's coming from somebody that you know referenced, or if you send an email, or if you call, or if you go in person, or send a LinkedIn message, any of those things. So personal introductions. So talk to everybody that you think of that knows you in the medical space, dental space, allied health space, and get some recommendations and referrals. If those people are willing to make the phone call for you, that's 10 times better. But that's not always the case. They're going to say, oh, did you reach out to this office or this practice or this facility? I have a friend there, or something like that. Keep following that chain and keep following those names, and that's how opportunities will open up for you. And that brings me to my last point, which is, if you are in the job search right now, write this down. It's from one of my favorite business mentors: conversations equal opportunities. The more people that you talk to, the more likely that you will find the opportunity that's right for you sooner than later. So the job boards are just one tool, just like we talked about in a prior town hall, that the salary reports are just one tool out of many tools. So use them all. And I didn't put on here staffing agencies. Staffing agencies can be a resource for experienced PAs. They're not a resource for new grads, but for experienced PAs, they can be. They have relationships with some big hiring facilities, not always individual private practice. So just keep that in mind. And they work on sales commissions and things. So you just have to keep that tucked away, that they have incentive, to find you a job, which is great, but not always to sort of align what you're looking for. So make sure you know what you're looking for. So that is conversations equal opportunities. If you can get a direct introduction, if you can leverage pharmaceutical relationships, get on LinkedIn. These are all valuable tools. And cold calls, send your email out, make phone calls, go in person. If there's an area you love, go in person, physically drop off your resume. Go during lunch or at the end of the day, when you might be able to get the front desk to actually make an actual introduction, where you can just say hello when you hand your resume off. It won't be a formal interview, of course, but at least you can do a quick meet and greet, and that might lead to something. So take advantage of all of the ways that you can expand your job search. Don't limit yourself only to the job boards. That's only one small tool. Okay, so let's switch over to our other topic for today, which is, how do you know if it's time to exit? So this is a topic more for experienced PAs, not so much for our new grad colleagues coming into the workforce. So let's talk about, how do you know if it's truly time to make an exit? So I've got some bullet points here. Number one, you're complaining and you're miserable all the time. There's really nothing that you can come up with that you're grateful for about your practice. Not one single thing. Everything is horrible. You hate it all, top to bottom. Your commute, your supervising doc, the office manager, the rest of the staff, the patient load, the specialty, the procedures, all of it, you don't like any of it. If that's the case, it's time to start planning your exit. Then that's time to start planning your exit. So the second one is, if your friends and family are saying that you're complaining all the time, and they're asking you why you stay and you don't look for new opportunities, and you don't really know why you're staying, you can't say, like, well, I'm staying because it's close to my house, or I'm staying because I like the hours, or I'm staying because I love my patients. If they're saying you're complaining all the time, if outside people are saying, you're complaining all the time, why are you staying? Why aren't you moving on? And you can't say one thing, then it's time to plan your exit. Okay, the next one is, if you and the practice do not have aligned goals, and this happens all the time with private clients, coaching clients that we work with. I cannot tell you how much this happens regularly, weekly. This happens all the time. So don't let this be you. somebody will reach out to us and say they need some help negotiating, or they're thinking about a career change, and we sit down and we talk about what do they want, and they say, well, I really want to expand my clinical skills and my practice won't let me. They want me to only do this one procedure. They only want me to see this one type of patients. And it's not fair because I want to do X, Y, and Z. Well, the reality is, because you want to do that procedure or expand your clinical skills, doesn't mean that you're entitled, that your employer has to want that same thing for you. It's their business. They own it. They invested a lot of time and money into it. And if they want all their PAs doing post-op follow-ups and that's it, they don't want PAs doing first assist in surgery, that's really their prerogative. You can try to convince them, you can try and show them how it's going to help them, how it's going to increase their productivity and increase their revenue. And you can try to speak to them maybe on things that might resonate with them. But if it's truly not resonating with them and it's just really what you want because you want to advance your skills, but it's not what they want and they don't see any value in you doing that, then that might be time to think about an exit, because that means that your goals for your career are not in line with the practice's goals for your career. You're just not on the same page. They have a business model that they have surgeons doing the surgery and the PAs seeing post-op, and that's their business model, and they're not really open to changing. And you have a vision for and goal for your career to advance your clinical skills and do more hands-on surgical assisting. If that's the case, that might be an indicator that it's time to plan an exit and move on to a practice or a facility that's more in line with your goals. Is nothing wrong or right about that. That's just reality. And we talk a lot. The entire module 1 of the masterclass is about identifying truly what your goals are and what your practice or facilities goals are for you, and identifying if there's misaligned goals, because this is the number one most common complaint and most common issues that we work with private clients about for the last 10 years is misaligned goals. So if this is something you don't know for yourself or you don't know how to recognize in your practice, register for the masterclass before we fill out, because we're probably going to sell out on Wednesday night. So make sure you grab a ticket now, a registration, before we sell out, because we dive deep into how to recognize goals and how to recognize when they're misaligned, how to try to negotiate to align them, and if you really can't, how to start to plan your exit. So that is a big one that I wanted to talk about: goals, misaligned goals. And if you're uncomfortable with that, go register for the masterclass, certifiedpaconsulting.com/masterclass while the prices are low, because we only host it live twice a year with these prices. Okay, so the next one is okay, so the next one is, you know what you want and you have another opportunity somewhere else to do that. Your current practices or facilities limiting you, and you know what you want. They're limiting you. You have another opportunity, or you know 100% sure there are other opportunities out there aligned for what you want for your career. Then it might be time to make an exit. That's kind of piggybacking on what I was just talking about. What I was talking about before was if you don't know your goals and you're just frustrated. But if you do know your goals and you have already another offer or another potential opportunity, or you know for sure there's another potential opportunity out there, even if you don't have an offer in hand, you know it's possible to get to this role that is your goal for your career, then it might be time to start thinking about an exit. And lastly, if all the money in the world would not matter and you would still be miserable with your practice, like you're thinking, well, I don't like the money, I don't like the commute, my supervising doc is a jerk, the practice manager is a jerk, I don't like my schedule, I don't like the staff, and I quite frankly don't really care for the procedures that I'm doing, but they just gave me a big raise, so I'm making a lot of money. If you're staying only because of the money and you don't like anything else about what you're doing, it may be time to think about an exit, because you will burn out. The money alone will not be enough to sustain you long term. You will get frustrated again, even if you're a top paid PA. This is the second most common reason why PAs burn out. It's not always about the money. So if you're someone that just successfully negotiated, kudos to you. But if everything else about your facility or your practice are things you don't like, top to bottom, you don't like anything else except the paycheck, it may be time to start thinking about an exit and a practice or a facility that's going to be more aligned with your career goals and what you really want for your life and your career, because the money alone, I promise you, will not sustain you for career fulfillment, and you will burn out within the next couple of years. So I hope that was helpful for those of you who are just catching on. We just talked about how to expand your job search, and we just talked about how to recognize when it's time for an exit. Now we're going to answer some questions that have been coming in about our negotiation masterclass. Again, we only do this twice a year. Certified PA Consulting. We developed this course based on the formulas and the problems and the concerns that PAs have had for the last 11 years that we have been consulting and coaching other PAs. And we put together a very systematic approach in this program. So it's 4 modules. People ask us what it is. It's 4 modules broken down over 4 evenings. It's kicking off March 2nd. That's a Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. So we're doing it for 2 weeks, 2 evenings a week. So 4 total sessions. They're about an hour and a half per session. That seems long, but it's not. I promise you it's not. You get a 24-page workbook, and we take pauses and we talk through exercises in the workbook so that you can align your goals, determine your goals, align your goals, figure out your practice's goals for you. If you don't know them, we will teach you how to know what that is. That's all module 1. Module 2, we're going to teach you how to run numbers. That means, how do you determine what you cost a practice or facility? How do you know if they can afford to give you a raise? You know that you want a raise, and you're looking at the salary reports and you're thinking, well, I think I have room for a raise because the salary reports are showing a little higher numbers than I'm getting paid. But how do you really know that you have room to negotiate? How do you really know if your practice or facility can truly afford? Just because the APA salary report says a number, does that mean that if you have no patient volume because of the pandemic, that your practice can afford to give you a raise? Probably not, because there's no money coming in. So how do you really figure these things out? We teach you all of that in module 2. Module 3 is all about bringing more value, whether it's revenue or not revenue value. How do you bring more value? How do you determine what your practice wants and differentiate yourself from all the other PAs so you're bringing the most value, which allows you to negotiate the absolute highest? And module 4 is all about avoiding common pitfalls in contracts that a lot of PAs, a lot of traps that PAs fall into. So that's module 4. So it's 4 sessions. It is recorded. A lot of people have been asking about if they have a clinic or they work long hours, will it be recorded? It is recorded. However, it is only recorded for a limited time because we're hosting live Q&A sessions in a private Facebook group only for people in the class. It's a private group only for people in the class. We will be answering and doing Q&A sessions live. And so ideally, you want to be doing the modules the same week as everybody else, because then you can hop over to the Facebook page and you can see some questions and some answers and some dialogue. It's going to help you a lot more. So it is recorded. If you have a commitment Tuesday and Thursday nights, that's okay. But you do want to be watching it like Wednesday and Friday. That you do want to be watching it within a couple of days. You don't, this is not something you want to invest in and then not do it for 6 months, because you want to do it when the whole class is doing it. So you're getting all that support, all that community Q&A, all that conversation inside the private Facebook group. So it is recorded, so don't sweat it if you have commitment Tuesday, Thursday night, but do make sure you can commit to watching the modules the same week that they're live so that you can catch the Q&As on Facebook, which are included in every level, by the way. Even Silver gets the Facebook Q&As. The gold members get a private small group Zoom. The course is not hosted on Zoom. It's on a program called Webinar Jam. We have games, giveaways, music. It's totally different. It's not on Zoom. So in the course, you get access to all that fun stuff. And if you register as a gold or diamond, you get a private Q&A Zoom where you can come off of mute and it's not just a chat question, and we can have some dialogue. So if you're registered for gold or diamond, you get that additional private small group Q&A where we can do some more personalized coaching. So that's the structure. It's recorded. You will get your questions answered during the course and the Facebook page. Those are obviously chat questions, and we'll answer those. If you do gold or diamond, you get a small group Zoom where you can come off of mute and have dialogue. You'll get a 24-page workbook. What will you get at the end? You will get a 24-page workbook that is your guide to negotiate for the rest of your career. So this investment is well worth it. You get increased confidence. You understand numbers are no longer going to be scary for you. You're going to define your career goals if you haven't defined them. You're going to recognize the goals of your practice. If you don't know, we're going to teach you, and you're going to recognize if they don't align. And we're going to teach you how to think like a business owner. So you're going to understand and you're going to be able to anticipate what the practice owner or office administrator will say to you before you even say it, because we're going to teach you to think like a boss. That's why it's called the boss mindset. What, like I said, we've owned multiple companies. We started as PAs, we grew into management roles, then we went off and we started other companies with lots of shareholders, board members that have coached us, guided us, and taught us very, very advanced negotiation skills. And we will teach you that in this course so that you can anticipate what the other person will say before you say it. And we will teach you how to bring more value, whether it is financial or non-financial value. We'll teach you how to bring more value that will be recognized, and more value equals more money when it comes to negotiating. That's the way it works. That's the way the world works. So we will teach you how to bring more value, which will then equal a bigger paycheck. So I want to thank everybody for joining today's Tuesday Town Halls. We had some great topics. Make sure you hop on over and catch some of the prior topics. We've had so many good topics. I talked about a bunch of them before. Why salary reports are only one tool, how to estimate collections, personal budgeting on a PA salary, non-compete clauses, how some PAs generate over $1 million. So go about, watch some of the prior Tuesday Town Halls. Register for tomorrow night's free webinar with the panel, certifiedpaconsulting.com/free webinars. And next month, we're switching gears to talk all about business. So it's going to be super fun and really exciting. We're talking about business owners, side hustles, all that fun stuff. But catch tomorrow night, especially if you're in Derm, but even in every specialty. It's going to teach you how different PAs have completely different goals for themselves and how to align with different practices and how to negotiate. So it's going to be a really cool dialogue. Catch it tomorrow night. If you are uncomfortable negotiating, grab a seat in the masterclass before they're gone, because they're almost gone. We already have oversold more seats than last year, and we don't want the group to be huge, because then we can't answer questions and it's too informal. So please grab a seat if you are uncomfortable negotiating. If you're scared or nervous or you don't feel confident, do this class. You will not regret it. I promise. I guarantee that for you. You will not regret it. You will get new insight that will carry you long into the future of your career as a PA. And on that note, that's certifiedpaconsulting.com/masterclass. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. I'm a couple minutes here past 1 o'clock here on the East Coast. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I hope to see you on tomorrow night's webinar. Feel free to DM me at Casey D'Amato on Instagram or Facebook anytime. I'm happy to answer questions or point you in the right direction for one of our team members who can get more information and answer questions related to salary, negotiating, contracts, career change, burnout, starting a business or growing a business. That's what we do. That's what we're experts at. And that's what we're here to teach you and help you along your journey. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow night on the webinar, probably a little bit here on Facebook and Instagram stories. And we'll see you soon. Send in your messages. And don't forget to join the town hall. One more thing, join the town hall, send your questions in so we can add them to our list for the free town halls. That's right, certifiedpaconsulting.com, join the town hall community, fill out the questionnaire, and we'll add your questions to the list for Tuesdays. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your week.